All right, before I get to the video on how to install this stainless, I just wanted to let y'all know that some of the stuff in the video is kind of repetitive because I haven't had a whole lot of time to record a consecutive video from start to finish because I've been super busy. I've only done a few pieces here and there within the last couple of weeks, but the information that is repeated is important. So sometimes you got to hear the same thing a few times to understand it. So it may help, it may be annoying, but I finally got most of this stainless installed, and I'm gonna kind of walk y'all through the procedures and which piece to start with, explain a little bit about the clips, and like I said, it may be repetitive, but hopefully it helps somebody. So here's a little bit of what I've been working on. All right, I got a few more pieces to the puzzle here. This is the stainless for the roof and pretty much the belt line that goes around the door. Quarter window, back window stainless, front window stainless, and the roof rail stainless. So there's quite a bit of pieces here. I'm probably going to do this this segment in two parts since I don't have all the pieces that I need yet. I'm missing about 5 of them, so that'll be on the second part, but here's most of them. My buddy Lone Star, he polished these out for me, and he did a hell of a job. These things came out really nice. I'm real happy with the results. He showed me a little bit about the process. It's pretty much like sanding clear coat. Just depending on the amounts of scratch or how deep the scratches are on them is the grit that you're gonna go with. A lot of these weren't too bad, but I think he started them at 800, and then he got them all the way down to, I think 1500 was the last grit that he used, and they came out really nice. I've got quite a bit of work to do. I'll probably start with the roof rails and then get the weather strip in them, since that's pretty much the biggest piece, which is these two right here in the end, and then just go from there. I already marked the front glass. So for this, the top piece goes first on the front glass. You got to make sure you follow that sequence because you're gonna run into some issues if you don't. But on the glass, all you pretty much got to do is mark your clips. Here's the clips. Mark them with tape because that's where you're gonna press down on the trim itself. So you just mark all the clips with the tape, and then the trim piece, make sure it's centered. Make sure you have the same space between both sides right here, and then you can go ahead and start pressing it down. If you're familiar with putting in that filler piece on the dash, this one right here, it goes between the windshield and the dash, it's pretty much the same process. You center it and then just push it down on the clips. And that's it for that. And then you do the same in the back. I haven't marked anything in the back yet, but you want to mark all your clips all the way. The back glass, it has clips all the way around it. So you got to go ahead and mark all those with tape. I don't have the top two pieces, so I'm gonna leave that for the second part, but I'll bring y'all back when I get some of this trim in. All right, for the back stainless on these cars, they're pretty much the same 62 through 64, and you have the two pieces that go on top, one here on the bottom, and then in the bottom center, and then one on each side of the cell panel. So the sequence for that, you want to start with the top two, and you want to start with the left side first. And if you can see this masking tape here all across the window here, all it's doing is marking the clips. So wherever there's a clip, there's a piece of masking tape, and the clips go before the glass and before the weather strip here, or the rubber, whatever you want to call it. So before you do the glass itself, you install the rubber around the glass, you put in the clips, and then you pop on your glass. And then for the stainless, you want to start at the top and you want to do the left side first. And the reason you want to mark all these clips is for whenever you lay down your trim, that's where you want to press on so it can snap in. So once you get that trim on, you won't be able to see no clips if you don't have them marked, and you'll just be kind of pressing at nothing really, and you're not going to feel nothing popping in. And the center is offset. There's no clip in the center, and the reason for that is because you can see how they overlap. This is the left side, this is the right side, and this one overlaps, and this is the centerpiece itself. So if there was a clip there, it would not clip in. So the clip on the glass is offset to the side. So you want to start with your left piece. I can't install this and record at the same time, but I'm just gonna lay it on here. And this is not my original trim. This is another set. But you pretty much just line it up and pop it in. Line it up as straight as you can. Pop that one in. And then once you're satisfied with that, you go ahead and do the right side. And the same procedure on the right side, same exact thing. Got everything marked with the masking tape. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop these on and I'll bring y'all back. All right, I got these two trims popped on. It was super simple. It took maybe 5 minutes, if that. But the masking tape makes the difference for this, because once you lay it down, all you gotta do is just snap it in right at the masking tape, and it falls right into place. It would be kind of hard to press this thing in without the masking tape. That's why it's real important you get everything marked. And that way, right where it's marked, all you got to do is just press it in right there, and it snaps right in. You can hear it snapping in when you press it, and it's in place. So these two trims took less than 5 minutes, and that is thanks to the masking tape. So that's that piece. The next ones I got to get on are the, let me see, this centerpiece right here on the bottom, because the cell panel overlaps on that centerpiece. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and install this bottom window trim in the back. And again, what you want to do, just like the top, you want to mark the clips with masking tape. So as you can see, I got 4 clips throughout the bottom, and you can see the bottom of the trim piece there. It has the 4 clips already. They're real easy to get on. Here's one of the clips here. You just pretty much slide them through the end. They need a little bit of persuasion on this little curve piece right there, but after you get past that curve, they slide pretty free. They move back and forth, and you can slide them to match your masking tape. And these clips, all they do is just pretty much just pop on the same. So there's a clip right there, and all this one is going to do is once you turn the trim around, you see that's the piece, that's the back side. It's sitting like this. So once you turn the trim around, it obviously is going to sit over like that. And then all you have to do is get it right in between here. And you see that it'll fit right into the other trim. I don't know how good you can see that, but you see it has pretty much the same spot. So this, all it does is snap into right there, which I don't want to snap it in all the way because I don't know how hard it's going to be to get out. But that's all it is. So it just snaps right under that one, and it stays nice and snug, nice and tight. It's real easy. So again, make sure you mark everything with masking tape, and then find your center, and then just flip this trim over, match your clips, and just snap it on, and it'll snug right on. So again, the sequence, for the top, you're gonna do the top left, and then the top right, and then you're gonna do the bottom middle, and then the side cell panel trim it goes over the middle piece. So you want to do this first and then that one. So let me go ahead and pop this one on. So real quick view right before you pop it on. I got all the clips lined up and they're gonna go right under it like that. Bam. Got these lined up. See right there? Just goes right under it. You just snap it in. Just make sure they're all under the clips. Under the window clips. And you're just gonna pop them on. And there's the marks. 1, 2, 3, 4. So let me snap it on. So there it is. All I had to do is just snap it in. I started from my right side, snap that one in, and then work my way right over to my left. And it's in place, so it's nice and snug now. So that's it for that trim. Real simple. So now I'll go ahead and do the cell panels, and that'll be it for the back. All right, so here's the cell panel trim, and all that has is these three clips right here. Well, they're not really clips. They have a nut on them. If you see like this one, they're new. What you want to do is just go ahead and put that nut on it and thread it all the way through before you put it on. Because if you try to thread it once it's installed, you're gonna have some trouble because you gotta tighten it down quite a bit. But they're real easy to thread. So it's only 3 holes. This one here in the back, you access it through the inside of the trunk. And that's gonna be that last one here. Just sits kind of flat right there. And then you have this one right here, kind of in the middle of the cell panel. And then right here. And then for these two, you just access those on the cell panel on the inside. It's real simple. You'll see them stick out. You just gotta put the nut on it. But that's it for this cell panel trim. I have to put on my belt line trim for the quarter window, and I have to install the weather strip on that before I can get it on. So I'm gonna do that next, and then go ahead and install the cell panel trim. So this last piece that I just put on is the one right below the cell panel here, and all it has is three clips with the nuts on it. It's fairly easy to install. I really don't think none of this stuff sat flush even from the factory. I'm sure, you know, it wasn't 100% straight. So I got it as straight as I can. The trickiest one to install on this is this last clip, because whenever you're tightening it, it tends to kind of want to turn. So you got to kind of push it down and then tighten it at the same time. But it's in a really awkward spot, and you have to access it through the inside of the trunk and then press it at the same time. So it's a little bit uncomfortable, but you know, it's there now. It's installed. I wanted to show y'all something on this bottom piece. Let's see, where's my other trim? So technically on these cars, this trim piece is supposed to go under this one. And I didn't like how that looked, because this little edge here, if you can see that, it has a nice round piece. So to me, this way, it looks more like a finished piece instead of having this tucked into here. So supposedly they were done both ways from the factory. I don't know, but I prefer it this way. So once you take this stuff apart and put it back together, it really just comes down to a personal preference. Now, I did have to trim this piece just a little bit to get it to sit flat, because if you don't, and you put this one over, this is gonna be sticking up and it's not gonna look right. So as you can see, I cut it on the inside right here. I cut that off, and then I trimmed it on the inside so it can sit flush like that. It'll sit straight with the rest of the trim. And I haven't trimmed the other side yet, so I'm gonna show it to you so you can see exactly what I had to cut off. Here is the other side, the driver's side trim. And you can see this little overhang right here. All this little piece from here this way is what I cut off. I cut that off, and I used a Dremel tool with the cutoff wheel. And then over here, I just ended up cutting it straight right there. Straight that way and then straight this way. So it can sit flat and it'll have that finished round look here on the end, you know, instead of tucking it in the other one. And again, that's just personal preference. You can kind of see where I cut on there. That's a better look. And here's the original one and how that one looks. I cut about 1/4 inch off of that stainless on the end right there. But that's it for that cell panel piece. I'm gonna cut that other one, the driver's side, and go ahead and install that. I hadn't installed this one because I had to put this on first, the quarter window trim. So I installed the new felts on that, or the new gaskets, rubber, weather strip, whatever you want to call it. And then I went ahead and got these in. So that's it for that. I'm gonna cut the other one. I'm sick of looking at that dash right there with them holes that somebody cut. I didn't cut that. I'm not even gonna run speakers on the dash. I had bought my interior kit a couple years ago, actually like 2 years ago, and that's the back dash piece. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw that on there because there's nothing in the way of putting it in now. So I got my full interior kit from Ciudadela Interiors. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but man, they have some really nice products. I bought a full interior kit a couple years ago. I got kind of ahead of myself. I've almost quit a few times within those years on this car because it's been one thing after another, but we're here now and hopefully I'll be throwing in the interior pretty soon. The interior is all red, factory interior, pre-assembled door panels. I got a 6-way front power seat. I chrome plated all the trim on the seat. So the interior is going to be really nice. It's going to match the rest of the car. I sent them a paint sample when I knew what color I was going with, and they got the vinyl pretty close. So they got it as close as they could, which is damn near exact, but you know, it's never going to be exactly the same, you know, between vinyl and paint. But there's some of the stainless again. I don't know if I walked through some of the front details, but I'll get to that. I'm gonna go ahead and install this piece and then I'll bring y'all back. All right, I got that last piece of the back trim installed already. It's this bottom cell panel piece. Again, it has the 3 clips with the nuts on it. Real basic, real easy. The trickiest one again was this one, but this one actually sat a little bit better than the passenger side. So that's it for that. For the back, that's completely done. I got most of the stainless done already, minus the top 2 pieces on the passenger door, which are still at the polishers. My buddy's still working on those. The sequence for the front, well, actually the sequence for all this stainless, you want to do this top piece first, and then you want to do your drip rail. This one right here, the long one that goes on the outside. And then after you do both drip rails, you can go ahead and install this side piece here, this one, and then you can do the 2 front ones after that, these 2 bottom ones. And then these 2 bottom ones go before the cowl and before the wipers, of course. And then after you have your drip rails installed, top windshield, the rest of the windshield, you go ahead and put the inside drip rail, which is this one right here, which holds this weather strip. This is actually 3 pieces. You can see that little piece right there that makes these 2 together. So you go ahead and get that in. And let me see what's after that. You can go ahead and do your quarters. And you can continue with the back after that. So that's pretty much a sequence for that. The doors, you can do them anytime. There's nothing in the way of that. The sequence sequence on these, I got me to buff that a little bit. The sequence on these is, depending if you want this one to tuck under this quarter one, I mean, you would obviously put this one first and then this one over it. But as I explained earlier, I prefer this one over this one, so I gotta install for that, you gotta install this one first and that one right over it. I had a little bit of trouble with the drip rail when I first installed it. This piece here on the bottom, it wasn't clipping in. So you pretty much start at the front and you're tucking it in. And then once you get to this little curve right here, this whole bottom piece here is actually sticking straight out like that. So once you start tucking it in, you gotta kind of turn it, and turn it. And the inside of this trim, you can't see it now, but it has a little bit of a lip. And this where the drip rail where it installs, it has a little bit of a lip inside as well. So if that thing isn't cleaned out, it's a little channel that's on the inside, this won't clip in, and that was the issue I was running into. So this whole bottom piece, about the last 6-7 inches, it was just popping right back out. So I had to go in, clean the channel, the drip rail on the inside, and then it popped right in. So that was pretty easy. It was easy after that. It was frustrating before it, but that's it for the stainless. It's all installed now, all the way around, and it was pretty easy. If you guys have any questions about the clips or sequence, just let me know and I'll help you out with it. But that's it for that. I'll keep y'all posted on the updates. Thank you.